Hello friends, welcome to the third and final part of this video series on citizenship in India. In the first part, we have already discussed the conditions put by Constitution for someone to be a citizen of India. In the second part, we talked about the Citizenship Act, and in the third part, we are going to talk about the recent amendment to this Citizenship Act. Now, we'll discuss some of the key points of the Citizenship Amendment Act. So the first is it amends the definition of illegal immigrants. Illegal immigrants term has been defined in the Citizenship Act. We have already discussed this definition in part 1 of the video, but I'll just give you a recap. Illegal immigrants are those persons who are living in India without any valid document or whose duration of stay as per the document has expired and they are living in a period which is longer than that. So now what is the amendment to this definition? What it says is people belonging to 3 countries, that is of Pakistan, Afghanistan or Bangladesh, and belonging to the 6 religion Hindu, Buddhist, Jain, Parsi, Christian or Sikh, and who have come to India before the date of 31st December 2014. For them, the criteria to be a citizen of India has been relaxed, and that they will not be treated as illegal immigrants if there is a case proceeding, like court proceeding going against them. It will be taken back and they will be given citizenship of India based on a relaxed criteria. Now, what is this relaxed criteria? This relaxed criteria is the next feature, which says that they will be made citizen by naturalization, and this duration of naturalization is 1 + 5 years. So they must have been living in India for 1 year immediately before making the application to be registered as citizen of India, and that they would have stayed in India for at least 5 years. Now, if you remember, for any other people to be naturalized citizen of India, the criteria is 1 + 11/14. So this is the relaxation that these people are getting. One more thing I wanted to add, when we discussed naturalization in the previous video, I didn't mention one point which said that either you should be living in India for that duration, that is 11 years cumulative in past 14 years and 1 year immediately before making the application, is you should either be living in India or you should be working for Government of India. So if you are working for Government of India but you are living outside India, even then if the cumulative period has covered 1 + 11/14, you will be given citizenship by naturalization. Or this could be partly. So say you have lived in India for 6 years and then you have worked for Government of India for 5 years outside India. This will also qualify as 11 years out of those 14 years. The next key feature is this amendment, like this definition and in the features of this amendment, this particular feature will not be applicable to the 6 scheduled areas and the inner line permit areas. There was huge uproar in this area that like if you allow this relaxed criteria, our demographic profile will change and the government which is elected and the aspirations will be influenced by people from outside the regions. And for this reason, 6 scheduled areas and inner line permit areas are excluded. Now, what are 6 scheduled areas? They belong to the areas, states of Assam, Meghalaya, Tripura and Mizoram. And inner line permit areas right now belong to the state of Arunachal Pradesh, Mizoram and Nagaland. Now these are separate issues, especially regarding inner line permit. There has been demand by Manipur as well. We are not going to go into that discussion right now. The next feature is it has changed some of the ways by which cancellation of OCI card can be done. So the first change is it has added one more section to it. First of all, cancellation of OCI card is almost similar to all the criteria that was for deprivation of citizenship, which again we have discussed, similar like you have shown disloyalty or disregard to the Constitution of India, insulted the Constitution of India, or you have consorted with an enemy with whom we are at war with. Similarly, what has been added here is if you violate this act, that is Citizenship Act, or any of the act as mentioned by government, you will lose your OCI card. The second thing they have done is they have added an opportunity to be heard for the OCI as well. Earlier they didn't have this. Now they have been given this opportunity by the act itself. And the final change that has been done is that in the section 18 of the Citizenship Amendment, Citizenship Act, the central government has been given power to make rules with respect to these immigrants to India. What immigrants? As defined earlier, immigrants from those 3 countries belonging to those 6 religious communities and those who have migrated to India before 31st of December 2014. Now you must have also heard these terms NPR and NRC in news. So first of all, what is NPR? NPR stands for National Population Register. Now the Citizenship Act does not directly talks about this NPR. However, there has been a rule made as per the provision of section 18 of Citizenship Act, which talks about National Population Register. It basically tells that government will prepare a national population register of usual residents of the country. Now, who are usual residents? Usual residents are people who have been living in an area for 6 months and they plan to live in that area for another 6 months. So basically government will do a house to house survey and they will prepare a list, a register of people who are living in an area. This NPR will be like there will be a central list, there will be a state list, there will be a district list, then there will be a subdivisional list, there will be a local level list. So it's a detailed list. Now this is not the first time that the term NPR has come. NPR was done in 2010 under the UPA regime. The first stage of NPR, at least, it was done with the census of 2011. House to house survey was done and a NPR was prepared. However, nothing was done regarding it in detail. And then this list was again updated in 2015 by the present government in the previous term. Now coming to NRC, this has been defined in the Citizenship Act. It has been added by the amendment done in 2003 under the section 14A of the Act. It talks about creating a national identity card for citizen of India, and it will be a compulsory card. This is what the provision of the Act says. Now to create this national identity card, the government may maintain a national register of Indian citizens. So this National Register of Indian Citizen, NRIC or NRC, is under the provision of this Act and this provision has existed since 2003. So again, it is not added via the present amendment. It has already been added. Now the Registrar General of India has been given the power to function as the Registrar General of Citizen Registration as well, and he or she will head the National Registration Authority, which will be created under this section of the Citizenship Act. Now NRC has already been done in India for the state of Assam. It was done only for the state of Assam because, like we have already talked about, Assam has had a lot many refugees, many illegal immigrants coming to the state, which has changed the demographic profile of the state. And for that reason, the state government of Assam decided to make a citizen register for Assam. Now, the provision of the Citizenship Act 2003 allows for making a national register of Indian citizens as well. However, such an exercise had not been taken yet. Now let's come to the concerns surrounding this act, this amendment. So the first concern is that it violates right to equality and grant citizenship by making religion a criteria. So this has been one of the many reasons for petitions against this act. This act has received almost 150 petitions, and the fact that it violates right to equality and grants citizenship by making religion a criteria for exclusion is one of the key components of those petitions. And thus they demand that SC should make it, that is Supreme Court should declare this law unconstitutional. This is one demand. The second concern surrounding it is, as I have already discussed again, during the time of Assam Accord, it was decided that after the date of 25th March 1971, none of the illegal immigrants will be given citizenship of India. It wasn't written explicitly in the Citizenship Act, but the Assam Accords basically meant this. This was implied through it. Now what this has done, Citizenship Amendment Act has changed this cutoff date. How so? Because now if someone from these three countries belonging to those six religions have migrated before 31st December 2014, they can be given citizenship of India. So it clearly violates this previous provision that put a cutoff date of 25th March 1971. And the last concern regarding this is one of the major is the act has been linked with NPR and further with NCR. Now this has struck fear in the mind of people, especially belonging to the Muslim community. Why is that? The BJP government has already passed some very controversial, let's not say controversial, some bold steps. Now what are those bold steps? First one is regarding Article 370. Then was the criminalization of triple talaq. So this has already led to a fear in this Muslim community in India. And couple this with how the NRC in Assam has shown so many exclusion. Like we have read in news so often that so and so was excluded, so and so despite being serving in army has been excluded. Media has reported it in at large scale, and now people have this fear, especially those belonging to the Muslim category, that their name may be excluded from the NRC. Like the names of certain people have been excluded from the NRC in Assam despite them having substantial proof or despite them having been citizen of India. So now this fear has led to a protest done by them against this act, because they feel that if NRC is implemented, first of all, if Citizenship Act, the amendment is enforced and then NRC is implemented, they don't have a recourse. At least these six religions have a recourse, but people belonging to the Muslim community, they don't have a recourse. They will not be given Indian citizenship if their name is not included in the NRC. So directly there is no linkage. The Citizenship Amendment Act 2019 does not talk about NRC at all. It is the fear, maybe it is spread by some faction that wants some protest against government. That is not clear. Government has said that it is a conspiracy, but let's not go into that detail. Simply let's just understand that there's a fear in the Muslim community of India that if their name is excluded from the NRC, like so many names were excluded from the NRC done in Assam, they will have no recourse and they will stop being a citizen of India. So coming to the present state of this act, the Supreme Court has refused to pass a stay order on the Citizenship Amendment Act, and they have decided that this matter will be referred to a larger bench of 5 judges. Further, you must have read in news again that certain states have gone to Supreme Court regarding this act under Article 131. Now, Article 131 gives special jurisdiction to Supreme Court, like it is their own their original jurisdiction, that they will hear matter of dispute between center and state. So via this, Kerala has gone to Supreme Court challenging this act. Now again, this matter is sub judice and the Supreme Court that can a state file a case against the center in Supreme Court for an act passed by the central government. So we'll have more clarity on this once Supreme Court adjudicates it. Right now there's lack of clarity. Just know that Kerala has gone to Supreme Court under Article 131. Similar issues have happened in India before as well, so you may read upon it. And the final thing is, SC has also directed the government to ensure that the details, the objective of this amendment is told to public, is released to public, such that there is lack of fear. Obviously, now once you don't know the purpose of an act, you can have, like, people can influence your mind. You can have fear based on it, that you don't know what is the purpose of this act. So if government comes out and clarifies, if it clarifies that the Citizenship Amendment Act is to ensure that illegal immigrants from India are expelled, and to ensure that certain communities which are prosecuted in these countries are given protection in India, then it will at least allay the fears of people that, okay, this act is not for the purpose of targeting a particular community, but rather it is to ensure that the citizenship of India is not given to someone who doesn't deserve it, and it is given to someone who deserves it. There is one more issue that I forgot to write in this slide, that is regarding why have you included only these 3 countries? Now, migrants to India have also come from Sri Lanka and Myanmar, but you have not included them. This is because, especially with respect to Sri Lanka, we already have a protocol. So in a government already, like, because there was mass influx of citizens, like people from Sri Lanka to Tamil Nadu especially, so government already had devised protocols. They will not be given citizenship, but they will be given long-term visa stay in India, and thus they will not be kicked out of the country. So I'll give you a quick recap of this again. So first, Citizenship Amendment Act 2019 makes few changes to the Citizenship Act. First, it amends the definition of illegal immigrants to include people coming from 3 countries of Pakistan, Afghanistan or Bangladesh belonging to 6 community of Hindu, Buddhist, Jain, Sikhs, Christians and Parsis who have come before the date of 31st December 2014. They will be given citizenship of India under relaxed criteria of citizenship by naturalization. What is the relaxation? Instead of 1 plus 11 by 14, it's 1 plus 5 only. Next, it does not apply to the 6 scheduled areas or the areas that are governed by inner line permit. Further, it changes how the cancellation of OCI registration card can be done, and it also gives them an opportunity to be heard. And finally, it gives central government power to make rules regarding the registration of these immigrants from these 3 countries belonging to those 6 communities. Next, we looked into some of what is NPR and what is NRC. Now, both are not a new concept. NPR has already been done in India, and it is done under rules made under the Section 18 of Citizenship Act. NRC, again, it's not a new concept. It has been added in the Citizenship Act in 2003 itself, and it has been done in Assam already. Now, when coming to debates, the first one was it violates equality. We cannot decide it. Let Supreme Court decide it. We are in no position to discuss that. But what the petitioners have argued is that it goes against the principle of equality because it distinguishes people on the basis of religion. The second issue is the people of Assam felt cheated because, as per the Assam Accords, no one in Assam was to be given citizenship if they came after 25th March 1971. But now this date has changed to 31st December 2014, as these people belonging to these communities coming on till 31st December 2014 can be given citizenship. And we also talked about how the fear has led to, like, fear regarding how CA can link to NPR and NRC and exclusion of certain community in India, which is basically, let's just say, is extrapolating things as of now, because government has, like the CAA has nowhere talked about NPR or NRC per se directly. And the last concern that we discussed later was regarding the not including people from countries like Sri Lanka and Myanmar. Then we looked into the present state, that is Supreme Court has refused to stay on this and the matter has been referred to a 5-judge bench. We also talked about how Kerala has filed a case against the central government with respect to CAA as per the provisions of Article 131. Now, if Kerala can do it or not is again a matter which is sub judice. And finally, Supreme Court has directed the government to release more information regarding the objective of this act to the general public to allay their fears. I hope the entire citizenship topic is clear to you, and if there is some doubt you can definitely ask in comments. Now, one more thing I wanted to add was, if you want the detailed criteria regarding citizenship by registration, citizenship by naturalization, and how government can deprive someone of citizenship, I can make a handout for it and provide you a link regarding it in the description of this video. So please do comment regarding it, and yeah, well, thank you and have a good day.